Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for this opportunity to present on water issues and gender, an issue for all with disproportionate effects. My name is Anna CohenMiller, and I am the co-director for the Consortium of Gender Scholars and Assistant Professor of Education at Nazarbayev University. My colleague, Neil Collins, is a professor of public policy, also at Nazarbayev University. While not able to attend this event synchronously, I hope this presentation provides a format for further consideration of this topic. In this presentation, I will briefly discuss a background including geography and natural resources and management. I'll mention key water issues identified, then draw a connection to the disproportionate effects they have on women and girls, and lastly, to the Sustainable Development Goals. So, Kazakhstan is located in Central Asia and has a population of about 18 million. We know that it's bordered by Russia, Uzbekistan, China, Kyrgyzstan, and Turkmenistan, and it has about a total length of the national borderline of over 12,000 kilometers and a very immense area overall, accounting for 68.1% of the total area of 5 Central Asian Republic countries. But with plains and lowlands as the predominant features, and mountains only accounting for 10% of Kazakhstan's territory, this means that we end up with a lot of a continental climate with hot and dry summers and extremely cold winters. Temperatures can typically range from plus 45 to negative 45, and the highest temperature in the desert can reach to 70. But the key thing here, as we're talking about water, is that rainfall is low in most areas. So again, we're thinking rainfall, water shortage, and also flooding. So long-term average annual surface runoff in Kazakhstan is a bit over 100 billion cubic meters, of which 56.5 billion cubic meters is from itself and 44 billion cubic meters from neighboring countries. This position leaves the country very vulnerable to shortages of water, though ironically, flooding is also a significant issue. Recently, Prime Minister Oscar Mamin commissioned the Ministry of Ecology to determine the safe volume of water reservoirs and to take measures for their timely emptying. In Soviet times, the water-abundant upstream countries provided water for irrigation in summer to downstream countries, such as Kazakhstan. In exchange, the Soviet Union was supplied with energy from Central Asia in the winter. Environmental aspects of natural resource management were, however, neglected, as evidenced in the Aral Sea turning to desert. After independence in 1991, water and energy management on a regional basis gave way to national approaches with the fragmentation of supply networks and disputes between upstream countries such as Tajikistan and the Kyrgyz Republic and their downstream neighbors Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, and Kazakhstan. There are 5 key issues that need addressing when we're thinking about water. 1. Poor housing with lack of reasonable access to water. 2. Having to walk more than 100 meters to obtain water. 3. Having to use plastic bottled water. 4. The disparity between urban and rural areas. And 5. The impact of flooding in rural areas. The Sustainable Development Goals include adequate water supply for all. In Kazakhstan, the main issues are in rural areas. 65% of rural dwellers want to connect and pay for piped water supply. About 80% have toilets outside their home. Poor sanitation here, we can see, means poor health, and this impacts women disproportionately. This is the key here. So water is an issue for all, but with disproportionate effects. While safe and sufficient water, as we hear, as we know this, it is an issue for everyone. Women are most impacted by problems such as the availability of sanitary facilities, as well as a safe and secure environment, Poor sanitation means there's also related connection to poor health, heightened by this time of coronavirus. This is something to be further considered for addressing SDG goals and the health of everyone. The nature of gender relations in Kazakhstan also means that persistent gender inequality is underpinned by the neoliberal approach to welfare provision, conservative social norms, and limited agency of civil society to influence the policy agenda. Nevertheless, an unfortunate turning point may have been reached last year when 5 children from a poor household unfortunately perished, right, in this evening fire while both parents had to work. This was a tragic scenario, right, that we're all very aware of. The political reaction was unusually strong for the state, and the government seemed to get the message. The new president has introduced some ameliorating reforms. Nonetheless, there remains an emphasis on working mothers and patriarchal power structures. So steps have been taken, and we can continue to do more. In Kazakhstan as a whole, women are the majority among the poor and unemployed. They experience unequal treatment in the labor market and retain the burden of mostly unpaid household management. So, what makes water a gendered issue? Well, often securing safe water means leaving the home, which experience elsewhere suggests this increases the danger of domestic violence and abuse. On top of women's health and hygiene issues, women also face social problems that are impacted by access to water. In many households, it is the responsibility of women and girls to collect water for cooking and other household necessities. Without ready access to water, then, this becomes a time consuming chore and often an arduous one as well. So, overall, water is clearly a gendered issue that disproportionately affects women and girls. The Sustainable Development Goals outline achieving gender equality and empowerment for women and girls, SDG 5, and also ensuring availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation for all, as we can see with SDG 6. So we want to thank you all for your time and attention, this opportunity to present this information and to further engage in such meaningful discussion and thoughtful interaction with others. We look forward to hearing from you all and learning from one another as we go forward. If you have any questions or would like to connect at any point, please feel free to reach out. Thank you very much.